Hello.
Welcome to another Idtv show, City College of San Francisco's in-house studio series made by students.
City College of San Francisco's in-house studio series made by students. Tim Buck says you can't say that backwards.
Students by made series studio house in Francisco San of College City.
I kind of need every dime. It has to go towards rent. How about $1?
Keep it. I'm not even a gambler. I think we can all relate to how hard it is to keep up with paying the rent. In fact, our theme for this show is gentrification and how the neighborhoods around the Bay Area are changing rapidly.
Yes, we've seen a few of our favorite local bars fall off the radar, which we're not too happy about. But we are happy to have a couple of Tenderloin bar owners in studio to tell us more.
Looking forward to that. And stick around for the second part of our sci-fi adventure, the Juneflower Chronicles. For now, let's take a look at 5 Blocks, an astonishing account on the fast and furious redevelopment that an area downtown has been experiencing lately.
And please, feel free to share your comments with us on Facebook. Just type in IDTV show to get the conversation going.
Enjoy.
My name is Dan Goldies, and I'm a documentary filmmaker based in San Francisco. I've been working since 2011 on the film 5 Blocks, which is a documentary about the changes that are happening in the Central Market Street neighborhood in San Francisco. This is my co-director, co-producer, Robert Cortland.
And I'm also a documentary filmmaker, came out of documentary photography, moved into filmmaking. I've been working on the same film since about 2011.
5 Blocks is the story of the changes that are happening in San Francisco's Central Market Street neighborhood. In the summer of 2011 and even beyond that, as we were starting to shoot, there was no sense necessarily that there was really going to be a change happening in Central Market Street.
And because it had been attempted since the 70s, so for 40 or 50 years, there's been numerous attempts, probably one a decade, to revitalize the neighborhood, if you will, and none of them have worked.
Now in 2015, we're seeing a lot of changes on the street, really brought along by an economic boom. Started by a payroll tax exemption that was implemented by the city, specifically because they wanted to encourage business growth in the Central Market area. That has brought in many, many new businesses and many new people to the neighborhood, and that's all a good thing. And now the question is whether the low-income residents who've been here for many, many years because they can't afford to live anywhere else in San Francisco can survive side by side with new businesses and new residents of a much, much higher income level, and whether there's a way that all of that can really work together in San Francisco.
The film itself is primarily funded through independent individuals. So anyone from this given $5 to $5,000, there's been well over 200 people that are really interested in watching this film being made. We don't want to repeat the story that's sort of being told daily, yet that has to affect the story. So what may have been forefront on the press may be background for us. So we look at a lot of different ways that we can be interested in it, that it becomes a movie that we want to watch, and something that we haven't seen over and over again. One of the beauties of documentary filmmaking, there's not a script, right? So you don't know how it's going to come out. So you tend to be a lot more open around different points of view and how the story is actually unfolding and telling itself, because it will tell you how it wants to be told. One of our characters is African-American artist, grew up in Oakland, ran away when he was 15, raised in this neighborhood by drag queens and Asian families, and speaks like a poet.
It used to be that 6th and Market was the coolest place in the city of San Francisco.
Market Street really is our grand boulevard. It makes a statement about what San Francisco's about. It really can be one of the great boulevards of a city in the world.
The sad truth is nobody knew what the hell to do. And so they just let it rot, and it's been rotting for well over 30 years now. This portion of Market Street just totally went down the tubes.
We're delighted to welcome lifestyle and culture expert Sharon Salmon and Redford bartender Keith Lump to show us how to make Sharon's Sunny Lemonade. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you,
so
Patrick.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, what does it take to get started with this?
Yeah, this is really simple. This is a punch that you can make at home.
Okay.
It's somewhat similar to a sangria, but different.
I see.
So
All right.
really it's going to be a base of lemonade
Okay.
with ice.
Okay.
You can use any kind of lemonade you want. You can make homemade lemonade if you want to get crazy. But really it's just this simple concoction.
So this is the lemonade already.
This
right?
is our base
Okay.
right here.
Gotcha.
And so then we're going to actually mix in fruit. And you can put any kind of fruit. You can even throw vegetables if you want to. You can
Okay.
put a little cucumber in there. But really you're just going to throw this in.
What do we got today? Is that
Right,
blackberries?
exactly. We have some blackberries. We have watermelon. And fresh cut fruit is always the best. It really gives it more flavor because you have the juices that are just still sitting in the fruit.
Gotcha.
And Keith, if you don't mind, could you give that bad boy a little
Stir there, yep.
So it looks like the fruit's going to break up in there. Is that
That
what
is so good.
That's what
That's
we want.
actually going to help it infuse with the lemonade and also with the tequila. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pour this in, and you can use any kind of tequila you want. There's Reposado, Añejo. Today we're using an Añejo, which is an aged, well, so is Reposado, but it's an aged tequila.
Okay, a little bit darker looking.
Exactly, yeah, and it becomes darker because of how long it's actually been aged in the barrels.
You got it. Couldn't have said it better
I have
myself.
my expert next to me. I have to check in from once in a while.
Sign off on that one.
Yeah.
What's your Keith?
And so if you want to, you can throw a little mint on the top as well. You can actually throw in a little cilantro if you want. Kind of
Oh,
give
it
it a little
smells so
spice.
good.
If you want to get a little spicy, you can throw some serrano chilies or jalapenos in there as well.
Oh, a little
Yeah,
spice.
that mint really gives it a nice kick to it.
Perfect. And so what you do is you just throw this in the fridge for about an hour or so and pull it out when you're ready to serve.
So here it is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Let's give this a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We want to thank you both for being here today to show us how to take a breather from the city. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, folks. The next time you're in the Tenderloin, stop into Redford and say hello to Keith and possibly Sharon. Redford is located at 673 Geary Boulevard at the corner of Leavenworth. And check them out online at redfordsf.com.
Now with San Francisco rents skyrocketing and evictions mounting, some tenants are not taking this lying down. Patrick!
That lemonade went straight to my head.
Anyway, as renters, we've got rights. So let's hear from the locals involved in this housing crisis and learn how we can protect ourselves from facing eviction.
For us, I think as a tenant organization, there is a perpetual housing crisis. But right now, it is even worse because it is affecting lower and middle class people as well. But it's affecting a very diverse population right now. We are seeing a lot of really crazy stories about tenants facing 400% rent increases, both in San Francisco and outside of the city.
I lived in this building and it was all seniors, and we suddenly, with a new owner, I received an $850 a month increase, and the other seniors in the building was $1,000 and more. I decided this is enough and we have to bring rents under control, and so that's how I started and why I started. We're looking for rent stabilization, which would regulate the increases in rents. We're going to put it on the ballot this November in conjunction with a just cause eviction ordinance, because you need both of those things to protect tenants.
Yeah, this is the first place that we came to in our married life, and it's just very frustrating, and that we've been trying to make it work. We're squarely within the middle income bracket, and we can't even afford apartments around here when we should be able to afford a nice house for ourselves. And it's just frustrating.
The whole rent issue, the way that it's been increasing by not just like $50 here or even $100 here, it's $600 here, $900 here. It feels like we don't make enough money to live here, and it's sad because we found work that we actually like and we want to live here, but we can't. It took us some time to get, our feet on the ground. After I got out of school, it was difficult to find actual stable work that wasn't temporary. And now that I found some work that's actually stable, and we're both making efforts to pay our bills, just to, settle down, it's just once the rent comes up, it's like, oh my goodness, this is setting us back. I don't feel anger at all. I just feel very depressed about the whole situation.
So our current efforts to fight back against this crisis are supporting organizing efforts at the local and state level, building power to eventually advance legislation that would help solve the crisis long term. Those things concretely are, for instance, in Burlingame, there's a grassroots group that is fighting to repeal the ban on rent control there. There's also groups in the East Bay that have been talking to us about forming tenant associations, organizations in San Francisco that are looking to the state, to repeal the Ellis Act, Costa-Hawkins Act. Those things are needed in order to be effective at the local level as well.
I just think that renters really need to unify, and they have to get that message that they're important, and if they don't want their lives uprooted and be forced out of their cities, they have to take this power themselves, because the city councils, the board of supervisors, the state senators, and the state legislators are not going to help us. We have to help ourselves, and it's extremely urgent. It's a crisis. It's not something that will be solved by building affordable housing over the next 5 to 10 years. Middle-class families are being forced out. And so we really need to protect the people who are left here and honor those who have already been forced out.
We've all seen homeless veterans asking for money on sidewalks who are often associated with the Vietnam War. More and more, we're seeing female veterans on the streets, those who've served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today, we're going to talk to Diane Williamson to discuss the problem of homelessness, job training, and support. Diane's been involved with Swords to Plowshares, a local nonprofit organization that's been helping veterans find homes and jobs in San Francisco since 1974. Tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get involved with Swords to Plowshares?
I found myself homeless in 2003 after a job loss and undiagnosed depression.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So from there, I went from place to place, family and friends that kept me, literally off the streets until I met up with an agency called House of Dignity. Then Dignity led me to Swords to Plowshares.
Okay.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I found Swords, because it really started me back on a path of rehabilitation, recovery, all of that.
So beyond, sort of homelessness, what are some of the other challenges that veterans, and specifically female veterans, are facing when they're coming back?
Well, I can speak for myself in the sense that there's the thing of safety I believe with female vets, I mean, safety for everyone who's homeless, I mean, that is an issue.
Right.
But I think for female vets, safety is a big issue. You know, you don't know where you're going to be. A lot of times you've left or been separated from your family, so there may be children involved. And do you get to see your kids? What's going on?
Right.
So I think those two are very important. Safety and your family ties. You know, if there are some, or can you maintain them in that homeless condition?
Very difficult to do with kids.
Yes, it is. Yes, and I can attest to that.
Huge challenge, I would imagine.
Yes, it is.
So what are some of the other things, some of the other services that vets really need? Beyond just housing, what are some of the other things that...
Well, I think they need the knowledge of what the VA can do for them.
Right.
I mean, I know there's a big push now to make sure that, because knowledge is power. A lot of vets don't know what they are entitled to. I myself was like that. I had no idea what I was entitled to. So to get vets educated on what they're allowed, you know, what they are eligible for, train them how to enroll in programs and services. And I also believe if you keep it in their communities too, I mean, that would make accessibility more prominent. You know, instead of not so much, you know, going all the way to San Francisco all the time if you live in Oakland, have something in the East Bay. And I think that's where Swords is coming in, trying to connect the dots.
I see.
So community involvement, have the community understand that we have vets in our community, make things like that accessible, information, computers, how-tos with the healthcare. Absolutely, especially with the healthcare issues.
Right.
And returning vets, they need to know where to go. Yeah. And they don't need to have to go through a lot of stuff to get to what they need.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
the system, how to navigate it.
Yes, yes. It's been that way for far too long, and I believe the VA is trying to address that. But get in the community too. The little pockets. Find out where you can go to a local so and so and get, you know, this service and that service. Accessibility is key, because homeless sometimes you can't get to where you need to get to.
Yeah.
You know, so that's very important.
A card, or if you don't have transportation.
Yeah, they need to know how they can get that.
Right.
Maybe it's just signing up.
Yeah.
You know, they need to know how to get around, or is this food shelters or clothing giveaways, how they can access that. You know, when it's raining, you know, a coat, or if it's cold, where to go to get what they need.
Right.
Hopefully it's local.
Yeah,
absolutely. Know, yes.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
That's all we have time for today. But thank you for joining us. I'm Patrick Vigil, Idtv 2015. And now for something
delicious.
Yes. Well, I guess it's more a visual treat at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the second part of the June Flower Chronicles.
Why were you caught red-handed uploading secret files from the council?
You know the people have a right to know. We're running out of food up here. Food up here.
I can't do anything about this.
I'm not trying to give you problems, Captain. but people need to know.
I don't need a mutiny up here.
And I'm not trying to give you...
Grand, I'd like to start this hearing off by saying what you did is nothing more than treason.
We, right now, are in a very delicate conundrum.
Yes, we are running out of supplies, but that will not happen for another generation.
We have a whole 100-year program to send people down below.
You want us to live with those savages? They kill each other for fun.
Why we decided to send you down with them to start the peace.
You know they don't have the tech to bring me back up? That's a one-way ticket to hell.
You're resourceful. We're very certain you'll manage.
We're not going to send you down unarmed. You'll have weapons. You'll have scout drones. They should help navigating the terrain.
I'm guessing this isn't an option.
You're catching on, Lieutenant Grand.
We're going to drop you off at 0600 cycles. Grand, this was the best I could do for you. They wanted to poison your rations and be done with it. I got them to send you down. At least you'll have some kind of life.
Yeah, probably a week at best. You know what? I'm gonna pack my bags. I hear I want a really nice trip.
You're resourceful. We're very certain you'll manage.
We're not going to send you down unarmed. You'll have weapons. You'll have scout drones. They should help navigating the terrain.
I'm guessing this isn't an option.
You're catching on, Lieutenant Grand.
We're going to drop you off at 0600 cycles. Grand, this was the best I could do for you. They wanted to poison your rations and be done with it. I got them to send you down. At least you'll have some kind of life.
Yeah, probably a week at best. You know what? I'm gonna pack my bags. I hear I want a really nice trip.
Welcome back to Idtv 2015. I'm your host, Patrick Vigil. Today, we have Nick and Michelle from Dinner with the Kids. Welcome, Nick and Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. So just to kind of kick it off, I wanted to learn a little bit about your guys' band. How did this all start? Where did you guys?
Well, we started working together. At a now defunct local single screen theater called the Bridge Theater, and we started out in a midnight movie band together. And then slowly after that dissipated, we started Dinner with the Kids as a duo.
Nice.
Played as a duo for about a year, and then just turned into a 6-piece quite quickly.
Grew.
Yeah. Actually, it went to 9, and then it went back down to 7. So I think
you had
it's
9.
at one point. Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So just influences a little bit. I'm sure the viewers want to know, like, what are some of your guys' influences?
I think for the band, it's very we like to call ourselves alternative experimental country.
Yeah.
So
I can hear that, yeah.
it's like country music, but with, I guess, like a vibe that's more like Tom Waits, Nick Cave. So have like the subdued Americana style stuff, like what we're gonna do today.
Hence the alt country, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice
A little bit of
combination.
everything.
It's not pop.
Yeah.
It's not what you consider top 40 pop country. Yeah.
No, but really catchy tunes. And speaking of which, to kind of close out the segment today, this is Nick and Michelle with Dinner with the Kids with their song, I'm Coming Home. I'll take that from you.
from your loving hands. Dreaming of a place to call my own. If Jesus was the carpenter and the Father just a man, it's no wonder why I'm coming home back to you. Well, Jesus, can't you see I've been hurting real bad? Tomorrow's got no promises for me. Well, cigarettes and whiskey colored pictures with no edge, a country life left to the makings of my mind.
The cold, it warms and numbs me. All those roots that I've grown, my teeth are now all broken to match your dirt-worn soul. I've been looking for that inspiration, lips tied up, all in place. Well, the times, they are changing, is what she said. So put another shot on the table, please, Miss Barkeep. Set me up so I can be knocked down. This dusty old no prairie sure has got a hold of me. But before that, summer's gone, that whistle blows. I've been tumbling down the road a ways through this barren waste of life till I reach my destination, and the light, it shines just right. They say home is where the heart does grow, and a place we're gonna die. Oh, sweet Virginia dear, I'm coming home.
Well, I wish I lived in a coal mine for the weekend. Drinking all my life away for once. Well, pillars of the past tense and the touch of your damn pants, well, it crumbles as the sparrow sings its call. Well, Dinah, can't you hear